I started just because I guess I just kind of had an epiphany. I was dealing, honestly, with a lot of depression, and I loved music and I loved writing, and I kind of just had an epiphany of where I felt like I could just do it. Like I could just, I didn't need to wait and try to figure out like what success was, I guess, if that makes sense. Like I realized when I was in high school that I wanted to work with music because I was really passionate about it, and I decided, well, why not just start doing it? Why not just start a blog and start writing about it and see what happens? And I did it. To this day, I stuck with it, and it ended up being something that I guess you could say kind of gave my life purpose. Sobre o que aconteceu. Well, I first really got into music with just kind of rock and metal music. So I really like metal music was the first genre that I really explored deeply. So that was a lot of what I wrote about at first, and then I also liked a lot of alternative rock. And then it just got more experimental as I got deeper into it. Really less about criteria when I'm reviewing music, and it's more about it's more just thinking about, okay, do I like this, and why do I like it, or why don't I like it, and then kind of going from there and thinking about, well, is the reason I like it because of some sort of bias that I have, or is it something that's more objective with it? And the same is true for the opposite, where there are albums where I will not like it at all when I first hear it, but I think about, okay, there's sounds in here, styles that I'm not as interested in, and I think about kind of how original it is. Would someone who is more into this be able to appreciate this more? And that can definitely change my opinion of it. Skill of the musicians is certainly a big thing with certain types of metal, but honestly, it's really hard to pinpoint criteria, just because so many different types of music is so different, and that's honestly one of the reasons I transitioned more to radio and less to actually critiquing music, is because my goal is less about trying to evaluate music, and more about just trying to find a way to share artists that I really like for whatever reason, artists that have a sound that resonates with me, and so radio gave me an avenue to focus more on what I really like and be able to share that.
And the silence built up over years.
I'm a night person, so I honestly really like having a night show. Like, my show is called Sounds of the Night, so doing it in the day wouldn't make a lot of sense. I think probably if I would probably, the earliest I would want to go on actually is 9 p.m. But right now I actually really like having the 11 p.m. slot. I've had it for over a year now, and that's kind of the slot where people are listening, and I get a lot of feedback that I wasn't getting when I was on at 1 a.m. But it's also one where, for the most part, I can do a show and not be completely exhausted afterwards. But the music I'm playing just wouldn't make a lot of sense in the day. Like a lot of the experimental music, I think that a show that is kind of more based around experimental music is better for nighttime listening. And it's more of the positive sense, because I just talk about the artists I'm playing for the most part, and I don't really, so there's no reason for me to be kind of focusing on albums that I didn't like as much. But when I'm explaining artists, I think that some of the criteria that I look at, some of the things that I like about it, some of the things that I would put in a review, tend to, kind of unintentionally come out on the air.